We want to thank all of our presenting sponsors. Without you, we would not have this wonderful daily program that goes all over the world. And Winspire, who Jason is with, is one of our intrepid partners. So we are super excited to have you joining us. I'm Julia Patrick, CEO of the American Nonprofit Academy. Jason Champion, whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop. I actually called, oh my God, I'm thrilled you're here. I actually called him Jason Ransom once.
Nobody knows. Don't tell anybody.
Holy cow. She was freaked out. She was freaked out. As we like to say, her makeup trailer in the parking lot is not safe.
No, so. It is always hooked to a car and could automatically be moved quickly.
Oh, Lord. Well, Jason Champion, I love your energy. I love your intelligence. I love the things that you bring to the table every time you're on the Nonprofit Show. And you have so many different components that you bring to the table about this amazing support that the nonprofit sector needs. And so I say, sir, let's get into it. You ready?
Do it.
Okay. Betty wrote in, we are onboarding our new board member and may be a little away from a full-blown board assessment. How do we roll out a mini, concise version to check in on board effectiveness, get their feedback, and incorporate it quickly?
So, it cracks me up when nonprofits step over their own feet and get tangled up. This is a simple phone call. Call your board member, ask them how the process is going, document what they're telling you so you can implement that as you guys move along for future onboarding experiences. But just have a conversation. You don't have to have something formal that says, oh, how's your feeling right now? What are you doing? Just this is where, and I've said this, for how long? Back to basics, 101. Pick up the phone, call these folks. Take them to coffee, social distance yourself, bring them on your campus. If you have a facility, let them see it and just hear them out. Hear them out. That's just common sense. It's just common sense.
Good for you. You know what? I absolutely love that. And I was thinking the exact same thing. It's like, don't try and make this bigger than it needs to be. Mm-hmm. Be present. Be thoughtful, listen, and see what gaps are missing, because chances are that's going to help you with other board members, certainly in the future.
Absolutely. Because if they're feeling something, someone else may be feeling that. And if not, great, you've addressed something that could be a potential downfall for somebody down the road. So just have a conversation, talk through it, document it, and show that you're implementing. And that gives that board member, while you're vetting them, they're vetting you as well. And they're making sure that, they're getting heard as they're going through this process. Mm-hmm. Because you can't come back at the end of it and be like, oh, this is how this is going to work. And they're going to say, I was unaware. I'm not into that.
Right. And, I think the thing of it is too, that this is even more important to your point, is that, a lot of board members, especially all these new board members that are going to be rolling onto boards, they won't have had that personal connectivity with clients, with staff, with other board members, with funders, like they would have in the past, because things are being done remotely. Yep. And so that's even more important to pick up that phone or get on a Zoom call, whatever is comfortable, and actually try and talk this out. Yeah.
One-on-one.
Yeah, I agree. Good job. Well, Betty, I hope that, I don't want to say tough love, but I hope that has helped you out, because totally, I mean, we gotta nip this in the bud, and you gotta be immediate. Go forth now. Okay. Shamala from San Jose. I started to say San Jose, California writes, is it appropriate to have a volunteer work for us on our database management? We are in need of help, but I'm concerned there is a sensitive data we have collected. Any strategies I should use? So I reached out to Sasha Lewis, who we had on yesterday, and she is amazing. She has moves management, and she has 2 comments. Data entry, yes, get them going with data entry. Volunteers should be able to do this with oversight. Don't allow them to manipulate the data. Just input it and make sure it's checked. Data management, no. Data management, unless you have a volunteer that's a data management expert and is coming to you with tremendous, CV. But she adds this, Jason, super interesting. She's like, I would create a contract that includes a confidentiality agreement and arbitration clause. It's one thing when a staff member makes a mistake or a consultant, we have insurance for that. Always protect the relationship and recognize it's still a volunteer.
That is really good advice, kind of in line with what I was thinking of.
Okay.
One, do you trust this volunteer? Two, do they have experience, or are they computer literate? Are they able to work in a database? Do they understand it? Is it going to take you more time to train them to do it than to do it yourself? While everyone is understaffed, overworked, underpaid in a nonprofit. We get that. We love you for that because you believe in your mission. But it's good to involve people at that level because you never know. Someone may turn around and go, I'm having a great time doing this. I feel more rewarded that I'm doing something for the organization. I want to be more involved. And it could help them network through their friends to bring in other people like, hey, look, I've got new responsibilities here. This is what I'm doing. But, I've always said too, get everything in writing. A contract is always a good idea. It's just, if it's a general outlined Word doc that everybody signs, just as an understanding of scope of work, so you have it.
And I like that you use that scope of work because that's less daunting.
Right.
And I love what you said. It sets the expectations. It gets everybody aligned.
Yep. Everybody knows what they're doing, and then they know that they're not pushing the wrong button. This is the buttons I'm supposed to push.
Right. What does that button do?
Yeah, what does that do? No, just deleted that.
Okay. Now, this is good because this is 2 people that have written in. Jamie and Marcus from Chicago. Woo! I bet it's cold there today.
Oh.
Oy, oy, oy. Okay. Oh, what is the value of having an online auction without the rest of the event? We are thinking that maybe a mid-year fundraising option would be a super fabulous online auction. This would be without all the other programming and a specific event time, but more of a week-long auction event.
Sometimes I feel like we as a industry overthink what is being done. And this is going to go back to something that I've always said. $50 is $50. Do you need to raise money? What does it matter if it doesn't have a large gala attached to it? It's just like, what if you ran a raffle in the spring and auctioned off something that you had at the office, or a trip, or I know some places that you could get a really good trip. I mean, think about it. It's just new streams of revenue. And this is a new stream of revenue. Think outside the box. It doesn't have to be tied to something as a capital campaign or a funding of this or that. It doesn't have to be tied to anything. It's just an additional way to raise money, and people may find it interesting. It's very little effort to prop up these type of situations, and what you make from it could fund so much more than you ever thought. That can grow into something even bigger.
Yeah. So let me, I agree. And I hope Jamie and Marcus, I can see that they're probably from an organization. And again, I don't know what their organization is, but it probably seems like it was super heavy event oriented. Can you talk to us about the raffle concept? Because I think this is an interesting thing. One, in some states, running a raffle has to go through their lottery commission. Correct. I know the state that I'm from, and that's a big to do. Most people are shocked by that, but it's true. Yep. But one of the things, and correct me if you think I'm wrong, I like about the raffle is because you've made a sale. You're drawing income, and it might be a smaller amount from not just the winner of that item.
Right. Exactly. You could have also identified new donors to the organization with having something that then appealed to them. So, a raffle, letting the cat out of the bag a little bit. We're currently in development of our own raffle software at Winspire, which
No.
yes, we
Okay,
are.
everybody, I did not know this. I
No,
swear
she
to
did
you.
not know this.
I did not know this.
She did not know this, and this is totally me doing a self pitch here for just a minute.
Oh my
That
God.
we're in development of a raffle software that
Okay.
we are working with multiple uh, legal firms to find out all the rules and regulations, because like in Florida, it's not a raffle, it's a game of chance. So there's little nuances like that that we're working through, and we'll be able to have a raffle software up for everybody in the next couple of weeks that you could pick one of our trips and experiences. You can throw it out there as a raffle, sell tickets, raise some money. It is very easy to participate in, and it's a great thing to have running throughout the year. You could run a different raffle every quarter for something different, like lunch with our CEO, or a trip to here to Mexico, or
Yeah.
if it's doing something within the organization, you could have a that position for a day. There's a lot of things that could be used in a raffle that cost the organization little to nothing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, now, okay. So now I'm like all freaked out. Can you, can you, without like stressing you out, do you want to chat more about this, or do you want to do it at another time?
Look, I'm game for
'Cause I
all
don't
of it.
want to.
As we're going down the runway, we're also building the plane.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
it's one of those things. I have some good answers, and I have some things that I may have to get back to you on.
Okay. So, wow, Jamie and Marcus, you got more than just a quick little answer.
Yep.
On the concept of a raffle, do you have any thoughts as to what a proportion to dollar and gain would be? That's number one. Like, can you say, well, you can generally net like 10% more than you would just at an auction? And then my other thing is, I've been seeing this more, that it's like a held level. Like, we're only going to sell 100 tickets, or we're only going to sell whatever. And I'm wondering, when a consumer hears that, if it encourages them to buy more tickets, or encourages them to buy early, or do you have any sense of that? Or is that just not a good idea?
No, I think that sets the sense of urgency within saying, oh, you've only got 100 tickets, and if you have a countdown, you can see that countdown going, and it's like, oh, I need to get, that's a marketing psychological tool. I need to jump in on that. There's only 100 tickets for this dream home at HGTV. That's things like that. But it also, you're going to get a higher return a lot of the times. I don't have an exact percent on a raffle, because you're also opening the door for different levels of engagement that you may not have in the past, where sometimes your organization started $1,000 donor. Well, if I bought a $50 ticket, I just came into your organization, and I would have never been able to do that before. So there's different levels of engagement that could bring in a raffle, and set your tickets to what you want to make. I mean, that's the thing, is if we want to make $20,000, great. We need to sell X amount of tickets at this cost, done. It's a very simple process. A lot of people overthink it, but it's super simple of how you can build that. I need to make $100,000. So I've got to sell $150,000 at 150 tickets at $20 a piece. Done. Do the math, and you've made your fee.
Okay, so I have other questions that I want to get to. I really don't. I would rather spend time talking about this, because I'm riveted by this concept. Again, to our viewers, I did not know this at all.
She did not.
when is this going to be ready to roll out, and can we get you back on to do a whole thing on that?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. I would love to come back on and talk about it. We should be up and running within about the next 2 weeks.
Oh, so I mean, it really is imminent. I thought when you said a couple of weeks, you were just like fishing.
No, the next couple of weeks, and
okay.
It's going to be a really cool product. It's we're incorporating a lot of things within that product as well.
Okay, buddy boy, when this show's over, don't go anywhere. We're getting on this, because I'm telling you, like, and again, I'll move on to the next question. But to me, when you start to see like hospitals and big organizations go all in on these raffle things, and I realize that for the most part, they partnered with companies that are administrating this. But big foundations, you can tell there's some big bucks that are going behind these things.
Yep.
And I know myself, I will buy the raffle ticket, not because of what the item is, but because I want to support the organization.
Right.
And what comes my way, if it does, it doesn't, is great.
It's awesome. It's a game of chance.
It is. But I don't feel that way when I'm sitting in a ballroom bidding on something.
Right.
It is a different psychology. Super
well,
cool.
It's a low entry for the most part. It's a low entry fee to jump in. And it's kind of like, I always tell everybody, the people at the gym that I joined 2 years ago were super nice. They send me birthday cards, Christmas cards. I haven't been back in there. It's not that big of a deal. It's $20 a month. I mean, I appreciate it. Thank you. But I don't feel horrible that I went there and I got in and I'm engaged with it. So that's the same thing with a raffle. I spent $20. I'm involved in your organization. If I win something, awesome. If not, great donation. But if I did, think about where that could spawn into going with other people that could be involved. Hey, I won this trip through Boys and Girls Club. Now I really want to be involved with them and I'm volunteering.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm like super jazzed about this. See why I love Fridays?
I love this show too.
It's awesome. Okay, well, Robert from Ogden is like sitting here going, okay, lady, move on. Okay, Robert from Ogden, Utah. We are trying to move more responsibility to our, to what we were just talking about, to our event committee chairs. Is there any type of rule for how much they should do? For example, how many hours spent? Who gives approvals? And what control does the event chair have? Is there even such a thing as a job description?
This is the age-old question within nonprofits when they start building their event. Do we go with two different types of chairs? Do we have the socialite that's going to sell tickets and get her friends to show up? Or do we have a worker bee? And, you've got to find that balance of who's going to be able to do off both, but laying out clear expectations with just kind of a memorandum of agreement of here's what we're doing, here's what I'm doing, and set goals for them. Hey, drive $50,000 worth of sponsorships, and this is what we're going to do. Drive $10,000 worth of sponsorships, this is what we're going to do. Get 100 people to show up. Like it is. I love it that he's thinking this way to move their volunteers into a deeper position within the organization. Now, far as making calls and finalizing final decisions and stuff, that always should be overseen by the nonprofit. Let them make presentations to you all of what they're thinking. And if it's in line with what your mission is, then go for it. It was ideas that you didn't have, and they brought to the table for you.
Yeah. Exactly. And it sounds to me like, maybe Robert's had some pain somewhere along the lines or has heard about it but I appreciate that he's starting out. I also like that you used an MOU, a memo of understanding, and the concept, you can bullet point out what your goals are, what the areas of expertise and responsibility would be. I was chairing an event years and years ago. It was a very, very large event. And we had a lot of different committees, and we had the entertainment chair book a crazy expensive band.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, booked it, signed it, got it done. And I was like, what? I mean, I really had a conniption because I had to go out and raise money to cover the costs of that entertainment factor. And, bless her heart,
diverted from what you were supposed to be doing, I'm sure, because you had to compensate them.
And big bucks.
Yeah.
And while it was great that she, worked hard and took the, initiative and got it good to go. Wow. But when I, look back on it now, it was really a misunderstanding of what her responsibility and her committee was. And, I mean,
it happens. And when I've chaired events and been in a nonprofit and worked and planned events, the first thing I sit down and tell anyone is that this is a real working committee, and there are expectations with timelines that we all have to meet to make this successful. And if you're willing to jump in at this level and do this, then great. Here's what your responsibilities are going to be. Let's sign off on it. And then we're going to have consistent check-ins to make sure that we're achieving those goals. You don't treat them any different than what you would treat an employee, from what you're expecting from them, because they are representing your organization in the public, and you have to have all the I's dotted and the T's crossed.
Right. And you want them to be successful, because at the
Right.
end of the day, you don't want to move anything away from the relationship that organization has.
Right. And you want them to be able to have bragging rights that we're
Yeah.
leaving this event in great shape, and we raised $250,000 this next year. Okay, next year, Julia, Jason, see if you can beat that.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. Okay, good. Well, Robert, good for you for even asking that question.
Yep.
Okay, this comes to us from Graham from New Orleans. This question is for Jason. Sorry, Julia.
Sorry.
Wow. Well, okay then. What are the resorts and travel companies expecting in 2021 and 2022? We are concerned with offering travel packages during our fundraiser, since it looks like folks will still be in lockdown mode for a long time to come.
Woo. Such a good question. And out of the 175 vendors that I speak to globally on a monthly basis, every one of their responses is subject to availability. There are no more blackout dates. It is going to be, the floodgates are opening. We're already starting to see it tip over the spillway a little bit. Travel, we're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel with the vaccine and cases, and on the low at to start with. And we're starting to see the trickle of people starting to book their trips June, July, August. This fall is going to be crazy busy. Spring of next year is going to be crazy. We extended our timelines of booking timelines to give people the freedom to be able to travel when they're comfortable. But, travel itself is still the second highest grossing item in a nonprofit fundraiser, outside of just a straight call to action, a donation, a fund to need, because people want to travel. And now think about it. Her asking this question, he asked this question, I can't remember.
Yeah, Graham.
Should think, okay, I'm ready to get out of New Orleans.
Yeah,
exactly. I'm ready to travel, even if it's them going to Slidell. Yep, I'm familiar with New Orleans, Graham. Just to get out of town for a night. That's what people are wanting to do, and people are willing to go there. I will say that the majority of people that purchase our trips are of a demographic that 90% will be vaccinated by the end of June.
Oh, how interesting. I totally get that correlation. Yep. That is really interesting. And now that is yeah, I think we just need to turn it off right now.
Yeah.
That is something that I had not thought about.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Well, and I also think what I heard you say, and let me get a clarification. As things are starting to open up, then we're going to have a competitive factor. We're going to actually have a supply and demand factor, right?
Absolutely.
That things are going to book up, and then it'll be like, well, wait a minute, we can't get these packages, or we can't get these.
It's filling up quickly. And like right now, go on any of the airline websites and try to book a ticket for September. You can't. They're not allowing bookings that far out right now, because they know within 2 months they can shift back to their normal pricing.
Right.
Because there is a supply and demand at this point. Think about all the people that didn't travel last year, pent up, ready to go this year. Think about the people that were already planning to travel this year that are ready to go. And think about the people that were going next year, but are like, I want to go this year because I'm ready to go.
Right. Because I haven't, like you just said, pent up demand.
Right.
And I haven't been able to do anything.
Right.
And I also think too, now that people are more, because of the pandemic, they're like, I can travel and I can still work. And no
Mhm.
one needs to really know where I am. I can take my laptop, I can pull up my virtual background, and I can be in meeting mode.
Absolutely. I
I
mean,
know.
do we have to have offices anymore?
I know.
That's the question.
Don't say that. My husband's in commercial real estate, so of course we do.
Yes, we need offices
Oh,
all day
big.
long.
Oh yeah, lots, lots.
Lots of offices.
Oh my gosh. Well, this has been another amazing, amazing time with you, Jason. I always love your answers, your energy. You certainly give us new things to think about and to talk about. And I want to make sure that everybody has Jason's information from Winspire, Director of Product Development. Now we are going to jump on a quick call, my friend, after the show and
Okay.
talk about this new app
Okay.
and this technology that Winspire is working on, because I'm all over this. And I think there's so many folks in the nonprofit sector that would really be interested. So I hope that we can kind of get you to do a reveal or whatever on the nonprofit show. And, I'm all about public shaming. So
Absolutely. I love it.
oh, Lord. Okay. Wait a minute. Before I switch over, it looks like we've got a question. Oh, see, I've even got somebody that's like just said, please keep us posted
We
about
will
this.
do that. We will do that.
I'm loving it. You got that. I'm going to actually even copy that. Love these. So super de duper. And thank you for that comment. Again, I'm Julia Patrick, CEO of the American Nonprofit Academy. Ooh, Jarrett better come back at the top of her game.
Do you hear that? I think that's her trailer being moved. Yeah.
Beep, beep.
Done. Her pod is gone.
And we fired her hair and makeup people. Wow. Tough day for Jarrett.
Oh.
Lord. Of course, we love Jarrett, the nonprofit nerd. And of course, I'm just teasing. But if you've got a question for us for the Ask and Answered show, go ahead. You've got 4 ways to get to us. You can email us, you can visit our websites, you can tweet us, and you can actually ask us questions on LinkedIn, and we will get you booked up. We get a lot of questions that come all over from everywhere, and we do our best. Sometimes we'll even try and directly answer them, even if we can't get them on the show. Hey, Jarrett and I have an interesting thing that we're offering just to the nonprofit sector via the nonprofit show, $95 executive coaching hour sessions. If you're interested, reach out to us. We're both very different. Here are our email addresses, and we'll see if we can't help you out with some of the things that you're looking at. Again, we want to thank our sponsors. Without you, we would never have the opportunity to do this work and to join you every day as we do across this great country. Jason, I think that this is like in the 230 range in terms of our number of episodes.
That's awesome. That is awesome. You guys have done an amazing job building this. It's great.
Well, thanks. It's a lot of fun. It's kooky, but it's a lot of fun. I mean, you just got to lay it out there. So we will actually have Jason back on another Friday in a couple weeks. If I'm not mistaken, it's the 19th, but it
is the 19th, and I probably will be broadcasting from our office in California.
Ooh, okay. Yeah. Super cool. Well, we will continue to see what comes of this whole rollout of this raffle app. I'm calling it a raffle app, and I hope that's appropriate, but
we'll figure it out.
We're super excited to see what this looks like. And again, what an amazing way to end the week. I'm going to thank Jason Champion from Winspire for coming on and sharing his amazing time and talents. And as we like to do every show, and we truly, truly believe this, we like to say, stay well so you can do well. Thanks, everybody. We're going to see you back here on Monday. Have a great and restful weekend.